If you are like me, you love cream of coconut, you love pineapple as well, and there's nothing better than some pudding added to a cake mix. We're going to get started making our Pina Colada Pound Cake. It is the most moist and delicious pound cake you've ever tasted. And yes, we're making a coconut glaze to go right over the top. Let's get started. Spring has sprung and there's a hornet in my house. Chris left the back door open when he went to let the chickens out, and y'all, there's a hornet in my house. Can you believe that? This is the first time I've had a hornet in the house, so I'll have to keep an eye on him while we're cooking today. All right, we're going to be using a cream of coconut, delicious. I've got a 16-ounce can listed in the ingredients. However, this is a 15-ounce can, and over the past few years, a lot of the companies have reduced their amounts, so just do your best and use your judgment. This is an 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple. We'll be using it. We're going to be using a 3.4-ounce box of vanilla instant pudding. We're going to be using a white cake mix, and Lord knows they've changed the amounts on these. We're going to be using 4 large eggs, and because my eggs are tiny, because I have new little chickens laying eggs, I'm having to use 5. It's a cup once you crack it. And we're going to use a 1/4 cup of cooking oil. Now, I am using corn oil. And that's all there is to it. We're just going to mix it up. You'll be reserving a 1/4 cup of this cream of coconut for your glaze, okay? So you don't want to miss that step. When you open cream of coconut, it can be liquid already, but then lots of times it does have a layer of fat on the top. This layer of fat is absolutely delicious and great to use in frosting. However, we're going to make a glaze. So I am going to take this whole can of cream of coconut and pour it into my mixing bowl. And what we're going to do is mix up this cream of coconut. I'm going to make sure and get it all out of there. And then we're going to reserve a 1/4 cup of it for our glaze. So that's the first step. Just do a really good job mixing and make sure that it's good and incorporated and creamy looking. You can see it looks a little creamier now. We're going to pour. You're not going to believe what just happened. That hornet just flew in my hair. I ran into the bathroom, I grabbed a paper towel, and I pulled him out of my hair. We're going to let him go. I'm going to let you watch me let him go. I'm going to put him outside. I just cannot believe he got in my hair, y'all, but here he is. I'm going to open it up. He's in here. Look, he's in there. Actually, he might be a carpenter bee. Anyway, I don't want him in my hair. We got rid of him. Y'all, I have to say that was scary. It really was. You just never know what you're going to see when you watch Tammy, because it's real life, right? All right, let's get started with our recipe again. Like I said, we're going to reserve a 1/4 cup of this creamy cream of coconut. It's going to be delicious in our glaze. Now you're just going to mix everything up. It's so simple. So when I mix up a cake mix, I always like to start with liquids first. You can mix it up however you want, but at least if you put the liquids in first, then you don't have to worry about your dry ingredients sticking to the bottom. There's our pineapple. Here's our pudding mix. Here's our oil, our eggs, and they do have a few spots in them because they're fresh eggs. And then we're going to put in our cake mix. That's all there is to it. That is an easy recipe. Now we're going to mix it up. Start out on a low speed. Once you start getting it all incorporated, you don't want to mix it over 2 minutes. You want to mix it about 2 minutes on a medium speed once everything starts getting mixed up. So there's our medium speed. Boy, that looks good, and it smells so good. This is a fix it fast and enjoy the reward cake. You can imagine how moist it is with that coconut, the pudding mix, and the pineapple. So it's going to cook for an hour, y'all. You want to make sure and cook it long enough. We're going to rinse these off so we can make our glaze. You're going to preheat your oven to 325. This is going to cook for an hour because it is very moist. You're going to use a bundt pan. Make sure that when you grease it, whether you're using a cooking spray or shortening, I would prefer shortening, and some flour, make sure you do a really good job because this is a sticky, moist cake and you don't want it to stick to the pan. All right, we've got that coated well. We're going to pour this in our pan. All right, there's our cake. We're going to get it in the oven and we'll start our delicious glaze. All right, our cake has about 10 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and mix up our glaze. You're going to use your reserved cream of coconut. It's a 1/4 cup. Some vanilla extract. Some vanilla extract. You're going to put in 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. And we're going to mix that up. And since I got out the mixer, I'm going to use it. Just add a little cream to it. I'm going to have a little bit more. Don't take much, y'all. Now you can make yours thinner if you want to, but now I'm going to put this on the warm cake. Some cream of coconuts are thinner than others. The one I had today was pretty thick. And that makes the difference. It makes a big difference, okay? I'm just going to take some parchment and make a cone. You can use a Ziploc bag if you want to, but I prefer to use parchment. And you just take your 2 fingers right here and you start to pull it towards the middle of the top, and then you wrap the other part around it, and you have to pull it tight. If you don't keep it tight, then it'll create a big hole in the bottom, okay? And we're going to stuff this and make our cake pretty today. It's about time for it to come out of the oven. Now you can see it loosened up as I held it. And now there is a hole in the bottom. Yummy, it's delicious. Let's check on our cake. Now it's a dense cake because it has a lot of stuff in it. All right, you're going to cook it until a toothpick or a skewer comes out clean. You're also going to see that the cake begins to pull away from the edges of the pan, and that way you know it's done. Anytime you add fruit to a cake mix, it does make the cake more dense, just like a carrot cake. So they'll rise and then they'll kind of fall just a little bit, and that's absolutely fine. It is going to be divine, I promise. We're going to let it cool off about 10 minutes, and then we'll flip it out upside down on a pan. I'm going to put one in every crease. Looks good. All right, we're going to add a little more to the top. Looks tasty, y'all. Now let's slice us a piece. It's hot, and that's the best time to eat a pound cake. It's when it's hot. All right, as you can see, it's a beautiful cake. Gorgeous. Y'all, it's so moist. This is a great cake to make for a party. Whew. Everybody will go crazy over it. Just look at how nice and moist it is. And let's get a bite. Oh my goodness. It is absolutely dreamy. And it's better with a white cake mix because the yellow cake mix has a flavor that's kind of overpowering and the white cake mix don't. It is absolutely delicious. This is definitely a great recipe. Just one of many out of our master cookbook. I hope you come back and see us. Please leave a comment if you try this recipe and let us know how you like it. We just thank you so much for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like our mamas did. We'll see you next time, and thanks for tuning in. Love you. Bye.